creative friends, it's Gwen and I'm back today with another scrapbooking process video. Today's share is for Cut to You and I'm going to be using the Cut of the Month exclusive design for January for this one. I'm also working with Cocoa Vanilla Studios Daydream collection and I'm going to be documenting these two photos. They were taken very recently in December, so just a month ago, and I'm going to talk more about that in a moment. First up though, here is a look at the cut file. It is called Floral Calendar, and as I mentioned, it is exclusive to the Cut of the Month Club. So if you're in that club, you will already have access to this design. And if you want this design, you have until the end of January to sign up to grab it. I do have some footage of backing the cut file, and I have decided this year that I'm going to try and include more of that. But what I'm actually going to do is include it in a separate video. So those of you who don't need to see that part because you're experienced with backing cut files, you don't have to sit through it. But those of you who are new and would like to get a little bit more information on how to go about that and to sort of see my process in more depth, well, there'll be a separate video for you for that. So I hope that helps. I hope that caters sort of a little bit to everybody. I will always do my best. Any feedback on that, please leave them in the comments below. As always, I'm always happy to answer questions and help you out wherever I can. Okay, so back to the layout, and here is my plan. The cut file I have cut really quite large, and I did want it to be a background element on the page. I did decide to center it in the end, and the two photos are going to kind of go about there, slightly to the right and in more of the empty space of the cut file design. I'm going to do a quick sweep of the elements in this collection. I have a couple of packs of ephemera there that are all kind of mixed together in one baggie. So yeah, I do a quick flick through there. There's a couple of pieces that stand out that I know that I'm going to use. But because I already have a lot going on, the cut file's quite big and I've got two photos for this layout, I don't actually have a lot of space. And then I got thinking, I really need to get working on my title. So for that, I'm going to use a combination of two alphas. The first is this one here, and it is from Felicity Jane. It was a gift given to me many years ago, and I still had enough letters left for the word yes. And then the other set is the set you see there on the left from, they're just stickers, American Crafts stickers. And my title is going to be The Year of Yes. So these two photos were taken very recently on a day trip that my sister and I and my family were on. And she actually flew up from Brisbane to meet us on our holiday. We were in our RV, our caravan, up at Airlie Beach, and she flew from Brisbane to Airlie Beach to meet us. And we decided that while she was there, we would all go on a plane trip over the Great Barrier Reef. So there's an area of the reef that she was very, very keen to see called the Hearty Reef. And it's actually in a lot of pictures. If you see the Great Barrier Reef being advertised, quite often you'll see it's an image of this particular reef. I'll try and find one on the internet and include it for you. And she was super keen to go and see it, and you cannot get there by boat. You have to fly. So so this is us in the plane before we have taken off. Super excited to go on this adventure. And we have decided that it is going to kick off a year of yes. So what is a year of yes? We did it in 2019, and essentially each of us takes turns in suggesting fun things that we could do that are maybe a little bit out of our comfort zone. Or maybe things on a list of things we've always wanted to do but haven't ever got around to doing it. And yeah, and we have to say yes. So sometimes it's something that you might not be super keen on, but when you sign up at the beginning of the year, you have to say yes to everything in that year. And because we sort of take it in turns, we've found this lovely balance where we do find things that are, as I said, like a little bit out of our comfort zone, but still really fun. And we have these really lovely special memories to look back on. So we are hoping, or we've set it up, so it's going to happen. 2022 is going to be another year of yes. So I'm really looking forward to what adventures we're going to get up to. And we've kicked it off with an aeroplane flight over the Great Barrier Reef. Okay, so back to the layout, and the plan is to have the title at the top of the page. So year of is going to be in the gold thickers that you see on the left, and then the word yes is pretty much where it is now. And then the eye will flow sort of top left to bottom right. I'm just going in the same direction as the floral elements in the cut file, which is also the same direction as my photos are placed. I've talked about this a little bit in that, it's just better to go with the flow of the page rather than trying to make something work that goes against that. It's just, I've just found for my creating, the more that I run with what's already there, the easier everything comes together. It was at this point that I noticed too that the collection didn't have a lot of textural elements in it. It was mainly the die cut pieces that I have there and some fussy cut things. So I did see, you see there, the puffy heart. I was really trying to get that on the page, but it was green and there was nothing else that I had that was green, and it just sort of stood out a little bit too much for my liking. I do include the flare button there that you see on the right. So it's a lovely textural element, and I do like that the title is quite raised and quite prominent. So it's foam, the year of is foam, and then the yes is like a wood veneer kind of texture. So that ends up being really nice to add to this page. In the end too, I do add in a bunch of sequins. This collection did come with sequins, and that kind of really balances out the texture a little bit nicely, because it was for me, especially at this point when I was looking at what I had going on, it was very paper heavy, which I know sounds ridiculous because we're scrapbookers. Of course it's paper heavy, but I do really like when I can add in things that are not paper, or things that have got, different textures and different thicknesses. And I think it adds a really lovely feel to a layout. That must be why I love stitching so much too. It's like beautiful texture and it doesn't create too much bulk on a page. So, okay, so embellishment wise, I am going to again go with what's already there, and I'm going to build out the floral cluster that's in the cut file. I'm going to use that as my base, and I'm going to layer a couple of floral elements on top. And it's interesting because I've broken my own scrapbooking rule. There are no rules in scrapbooking, but I generally do not like to put yellow with gold. I don't think that they go together as a combo. However, I had a few of the yellow floral die cuts that I thought I might use, and it just seemed to work because I think the yellow was not directly beside the gold anywhere. I feel like the yellow balances out the title, and the gold and the yellow kind of balance each other out really nicely. So that's why there are no rules in scrapbooking, because I guess for every rule there's an exception. So this is the exception to my silly rule that I made. And I love it. I'm really happy with the pop of yellow. I think it also brings in the little bit of yellow that's in the background. Oh yes, and I did consider actually adding a yellow butterfly to sort of maybe make that even more balanced. So have some yellow butterflies and some yellow florals, But as I said, I just found as soon as I put it anywhere near that gold at the top, I decided I didn't like it. So there is quite a lot of butterfly auditioning that happens on this layout. No idea why. In part it's to do with that whole yellow saga, but I just couldn't decide whether to make them all peach or some peach and some yellow, or some peach and some yellow and some blue. I do end up with one blue one, two dark peach ones, and one pale peach one. And I'm happy enough with that. I did fussy cut those out of that pattern paper, and I have raised them up on foam just for a little bit of extra dimension. As I was saying, there isn't a lot of dimension in this layout with the paper elements, so I did want to add that there as well. And I am now going to add in a couple of the accessory stickers from the accessory sticker sheet. I love adding these as sort of like a finishing touch to the page. I have one that says don't forget, and that's near the flare there. The flare says choose joy. So they're really lovely sentiments that help me tell this story about the year of yes. I do end up adding a couple more to the layout as well on the left there of that center photo above the butterfly on the left there. It was a little bit empty, and you'll recall I was sort of talking about the flow of the page going top left to bottom right in line with the photos and in line with the cut file. So I felt like it needed a couple more little details up in that corner. So that's them there. They say so good and these days. And I also, in a moment, you'll see me also fuss with a bunch of sequins. So I do end up adding those in 3 places around the layout. So some above the word year of in my title, a couple in that section that I've just built there with the words on the left-hand side there, and then a couple at the bottom of the page underneath that second photo on the right. These are sequins that come in the collection, so they match beautifully, and I am going to add them with the Nouveau Deluxe adhesive, which you'll see here in a moment. I did actually I had a break, I went and had dinner I think, and I came back and I decided that little section there needed one more floral die cut. So I did add that and a couple more little floral sprigs just from the die cut ephemera pack. And then I went ahead and added the sequins. I just felt those extra little elements sort of rounded out the page more nicely. There was a bit more of a balance of some smaller elements on the layout, and yeah, I'm really happy with that. Calling the page done. Thank you so much for being here, friends, and spending your creative time with me. If you like the way that I scrapbook or the way that I chat about the way that I scrapbook, I would love it if you give this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments below. I am always very, very happy to help. If you'd like more information on how to join us in the Cut of the Month Club and get this exclusive design, there is info on that in the description box as well. I do have a few ideas for creative projects in 2022, but if you have an idea, if you'd like to see something particular, let me know, either comment below or send me a message on social media. I would love to hear all about it. Oh, and any ideas for the year of yes, let me know those as well. Leaving you with close-up images as I always do, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, bye!